Today's a Macy's Day Parade. The night of the living dead is on its way.
Hey, welcome back to the podcast, guys. So happy to have you here. I'm your lovely host who's bringing pizza and stale PBR to the Friendsgiving, Jen.
And Kim here. I just want to say 3 cheers for sweet potatoes.
Easy pumpkin peasy. Pumpkin pie, motherfucker.
Yeah, it's Thanksgiving time or Friendsgiving. I don't really know where I'm landing this year with, I don't know. Thanksgiving's a weird holiday for me. Because I like food, but I hate everything it stands for. But Friendsgiving, I get behind. So, yeah. This is a real Friendsgiving. What can we say? Right here, right now, Kim, I am so thankful for you. Our editor, woo, baby! And our lovely... I almost said manager. Bobby, what? Bobby's in the house, everyone. Bobby's in the house.
Hello.
Bobs, are you our producer? Like, what did I call
Momager.
you? What's her, what? Bob.
You called me the editor last time, but I haven't touched the
This
audio
is true. That's why I'm like, wait.
at all. That's you.
I'm the editor. It's me. I'm the one.
I guess I'm kind of a producer in a sense, but we're all producers.
I like Kim. Did you say
So it's
he's
like
the
a co-producer
momager? Because
Yeah, I did.
you want to be mom? Like, yeah, you can be mom.
Sure.
Hashtag Bobby is mom. It's a nice call out for Undertale. Play the Undertale sound.
Oh God, again.
I love Undertale, but in a way that I have still not finished Undertale. Bobby needs to kidnap me for another weekend so I can finish that up. But yeah, I'm thankful for you guys. I'm thankful for our listeners. Thank you to all the new ones. I got some very kind words on our last episode, and it means the world to us. So, yay! Welcome to the fam. But you know what else I'm thankful for, Kim?
Let's hear it.
I am so thankful. Y'all know it. Courtney and Trav are engaged. We talked about it last episode. They are so very cute. But because of this duo, we are now getting Pete Davidson and Kim Kardashian a round of applause because it's giving me all the life. My seasonal depression cured, Kim. Absolutely cured. I have a new life. I am...
My skin is clear.
Oh my God. The way in which pregnancy glow? Like, it's the glow that Pete Davidson probably had before he smoked his first joint. Like, no, I'm sorry. I love your pale ass. What is it? The suds looking ass of Pete Davidson is
the suds.
He looks like he has the suds, but I'm here for it. Yeah, Kim, I know you're not too into the Kardashian clan antics, but do you have any gut feelings on this? I don't know. On this pairing?
I know he's dated like so many like hot women in the past, but I wasn't expecting it. You know what I mean? It's
an age difference, dude. Like, it's not even like I'm surprised. Like, I am surprised just going like based off of who Kim has dated in the past. You know, we had an NBA, blah, 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 blah. We had an NBA star. We had obviously Kanye West. We have more rappers.
She might move on to rappers and ball players, but we all know I hit it first. I hop in the club.
And then Pete Davidson is just like an outlier here. And I'm just like,
right.
Yo, emo boys, you are having a fucking moment. Get it.
Mm-hmm.
Get
it,
emo fuck boys. It's time. Yeah, I'm just proud of him too. I'm just like, yo, look at you. Look at you. Like, I don't think it's gonna really last. I'm not here to say if it is or isn't. But, but
I feel that. I really don't know, but
it's straight.
But let's enjoy it for now. You know what I mean?
You know, it's like a good pop punk song. We're not saying it's perfect. We're not even saying it's politically correct. we're saying it's fun for the moment. It's
Right.
It feels like a Blink 182 song as a relationship, and
Yeah. No,
Yeah.
I feel that. That's a good way to put it.
I hope that was poetic. I don't know. Yeah. So yeah, no, Pete and Kim, thankful for that. And you know what else I'm thankful for, Kim? You know, that, and this is going to be a more somber note, like, sorry for the drastic change, listeners. But I'm thankful for our experiences at concerts and how we've not dealt with a chaotic situation that obviously happened at, Astroworld,
Right.
last month, this past month. It almost feels disingenuous, like, bringing it up on this podcast because, like, we got our friends listening at this point. But seriously, my heart goes out to anyone who was there and, like, had to experience that. If, like, someone ever stumbles upon that, like, yeah, shit, man. Like, you've never been in a crowd-crushing situation, right? Or, like, yeah. First off,
Nothing like crazy, like nothing
Yeah.
that I've like been in the middle of. Like I've been like, like in mosh pits and stuff like that. And there have been times I was able to like get out of it. And if I didn't want to, like, I felt uncomfortable at a certain point, or it was just too much for me.
There was always
The
a
only
way
time
out.
I've witnessed, like, yeah, exactly. Like I was, like, eventually, like, I was able to like get out, especially like during like walls of death.
Yeah.
Well, let's say they'll randomly just split and you're just like, oh no. But yeah, but that doesn't really count because I never really was like seriously injured. But there was one time I was at a show in Poughkeepsie. It was like a local show for this pretty heavy band called Breathtaker. I don't know if anybody here is listening who used to go to those shows, those hardcore shows in Poughkeepsie, but y'all know Breathtaker. But apparently, like, one, they'll have like I guess people know, who are moshing and stuff, they'll just like physically like just come for somebody who, I guess, I'm minding my business. I'm outside of the pit. Like, I'm just here for the music. And like this girl, so she's like way bigger than me, way taller than me. Like, I think she was actually dating someone in the band. She like just came up to me like while she was like dancing, so we'll call it. That she just like decked me in the face and like hit me in the nose, and my nose was like bruised. And I had my mom's wedding the next day.
Oh my
I was just
God.
like, yeah, and I'm just like, and I was pretty young. I was just like, like 19.
I mean, I've definitely come out, like, I'm saying, oh my God, like, I'm almost surprised my nose has never been, like, broken at this point.
No, she, like, literally came for me. She's like, oh, you look like some, like, emo bitch. Like, let me
Oh my
just
God.
deck you real quick. Like, that's kind of, like, what happened
yeah.
there. But, yeah, other than that, I saw at Warped Tour at some 41 show, like, I guess, the heat, people are dehydrated, someone passed out, but they stopped the show to, like, help them out, thankfully.
And I mean, like, I'm going to share, like, I guess my experiences at festivals, especially, but, like, to keep on with, like, on track of what you were saying, I think that's what bothers me the most.
Right.
Like, it's, and we, like, open discussion, like, Bobby, please chime in too, but, like, after, like, I heard the news, I was like, okay, like, I didn't realize, like, like, I tried to give all the excuses for Travis at first, Travis Scott, for, I don't know, if any, like, I feel like we all should know Astroworld is synonymous for Travis Scott, but, like, yeah, just to give maybe someone who doesn't know the full situation full context. Travis Scott puts on a festival in his hometown in Texas, Houston, Texas, I believe. And it was the, I guess, third year it was happening. I think it was the third year, but, like, don't quote me on that because I know COVID, screwed up something. But yeah, it was a festival in Houston, and Travis Scott is someone who really brought, like, I don't want to, oh God, he's a hardcore kind of performer. The music doesn't come off as hardcore in my opinion, but like he really has adapted the mosh culture, the hardcore scene into a hip hop setting, which was something so cool to see. But then like, it's like, to me, it's like, oh wait, like you don't like, I don't know. It's like now like seeing how damaging he was treating, like, you know, people are supposed to get hurt in mosh pits. Like, you know, like I can't subscribe to that mentality that like, I don't even know what I'm trying to. I agree. But yeah, like it's, you know, it was because I keep thinking back to the documentary that was on Netflix and me thinking like, oh, that's cool to see in a hip hop setting, like hardcore shit, like things that we grew up in. But then seeing someone not really understand the, you know, like why we
like the etiquette, I guess. Well,
yeah,
you know,
etiquette,
I'm not saying that like
yeah.
at hardcore shows, everyone or every band, every like person in the crowd follows that etiquette. I'm definitely not saying that, but like, you know, it is there.
You know what else it is? Like, and I'm trying to remember like being young and going to shows. Like, and I sound so old saying that, but it's like, I don't know, like I'm thinking of like Bring Me to Horizon or like, you know, give me like insert like hardcore band here. Was that the same culture? Like, did they not give a shit about us? Because I feel like when I started going into shows, there was someone kind of there to like educate me on the culture of like, yeah, the culture of moshing. Like, hey, put your hand up if you're like, you know, close by the edge. You know, if you see someone down, you pick it up. It might have been the band itself, you know, like I learned when I...
Right, like they would literally like yell it on stage.
Yeah.
Like, if you see somebody on the floor, you better pick them up and...
When someone falls, what do you do? When someone falls, what do you do?
Like, you know what I mean? Like the bands themselves would promote that, you know?
You know what I mean? Like, yeah, I feel like...
they're like also like open this pit up though, like, you know what I mean, like at the same time,
you know, like you learn, like there's a learning experience with going to a show that I never really thought about until this happened. And yeah, like Travis Scott's fans skew young, and by that I mean people who like this might be one of their first festivals or, you know, shows of this nature, and he's telling you to like not give a fuck about the person next to you. And so, yeah, this is all leading to like, he had a responsibility to his fans and he let them down. And I almost feel disgusted for like, oh, you know, like actually thinking it might have been cool when, you know, because it's like, it was almost nostalgic. It's like bringing like, you know, and by nostalgic, I mean like, you know, looking at like the punk scene from like when it first started. Like, you know, it's like gross, it's blah, blah. But then it like hit me and like, yeah, like I'm looking at this in like a romanticized lens. Like that wasn't the best time. There's reasons why we do things. People were dying. People are, you know, like, this is all to say, like, we should have learned from that. You could still be hardcore and all that good stuff, but not at the cost of losing your fans. Like, fuck that.
Exactly. 100%.
That was very long-winded. It's just like being so, yeah. I'm just so disappointed because like, I really did like Travis's work. I was waiting for the new music forever, but like, whenever he came out with something, I liked it. You know, we've all seen the TikToks at this point. We've all seen YouTube videos breaking it down. Like, there's no doubt in my mind, even if he wasn't aware that people are dying, you're ignoring your fans. He literally was looking down at, you know, these things happening and just kept going and doing the robot and shit. I'm like bro. You literally, like, once you see a fucking ambulance in your crowd. Right, literally bringing people out. I can't. Yeah. You like that. You're after I saw the cloud. That. I was like, all right. You don't get like, there's just no excuse in my brain. Like, I do believe you didn't know people were dying, but that means you are not surrounding yourself with people you can trust that are going to take care of your fans. Like, I am leaving Drake out of this, but, you know, because, you know, at the end of the day, this was like, Travis's fucking festival. He had the power to stop it, you know, like, and also he had a responsibility to his fans to take care of them. Not overput, like, you know, we've also seen the videos of people storm the festivals, and, you know, like I've seen for years people sneak into festivals, and, like, you know, the Lollapalooza, like every year there's a fucking gate like that's broken down, but yeah, it's just like, you know, you had 2 water stations for your fans. You know, like there's a way festivals are put on. There's a reason why there's multiple stages with multiple acts, like, to prevent shit like this. And I'm going to let you talk because I know I just went on a full tangent, Kim.
No, it's
thoughts?
like, I agree. And I, like, when you said the water station thing, I was like, I remember going to Warped Tour when there was no water stations. And I'm not saying that's right. Like,
But,
definitely not. Because I was, like, paying, like, $5 for a water bottle, like, very often being at those sweaty ass festivals. But yeah, I don't know, it's just like crazy. And like I saw a post that kind of like, you know, about this whole like Astroworld thing, and it was just like how people have been posting on you know, you'll see it on TikTok or wherever, like people posting stuff on about like rock shows and metal shows, like everybody, like, you know, bands looking out for their fans and the fans looking out for each other and blah blah blah. Like that's nice and all, but it's not always that way. And I feel like, you know, this post I was just like pretty much agreeing with, where it was like, about like so certain bands like Cannibal Corpse and like you know, and you know, I used to listen to them a lot more, not so much anymore, but anyways, like just not like having weights apparently in the pit and like hitting people in the head with them, like crazy shit. Yeah. And like also with the whole like Astroworld rap show versus like rock metal shows, it's kind of like also kind of making this like a white versus black thing at the end of the day.
I'm so happy
you know what I'm
you
saying?
said it, because like this was, I'm gonna let you finish, but that's
pretty much it. Yeah, it was just like I just saw that post and I was like, yeah, this is definitely like, because I felt kind of weird like about like watching these videos, and I'm like, you know, even though I know it's not always like fucking fabulous every time I go to a show, but and I never like, you know, I never experienced anything like Astroworld, but yeah, I just think there's also that race element in there.
Oh, for sure. And again, I'm like so thrilled, because I know when I saw that post circulating on Facebook, and unfortunately seeing some of my friends share it too, with like the knowledge that I know they are saying, like, it's hard when you're like, you got to call out your friends for like, hey, you know, this definitely has some like racist undertones to it. You're right. This shit has happened in the past. Literally, it took me it has been a while. I don't want to say like, you know, there hasn't been a significant amount of time, but like in 2000, in the year 2000, there was a festival over in Europe where Pearl Jam was performing, and I believe 8 or 10 people died at that Pearl Jam like during their set.
I didn't even know about that, honestly.
Yes, you learn things on the pod. You learn things. Okay, Bobby just fact checked for me. So 9 people died. I was, you know,
you were
I was in the ballpark.
in the middle.
You're spot on.
Yeah.
Don't worry about it.
But it. Let me just finish one thought. But the whole Astroworld thing legitimately makes me upset. But yeah, the difference between what happened at Astroworld versus what happened at Pearl Jam and what happened to other events, you know, again, I think what upsets me with how people are treating this is this shit has happened before at white shows. You guys are just wearing your like, like, you know, like we're more sophisticated than a black artist. Like, no, go fuck yourself.
Right.
With, like that mentality.
Yeah, exactly.
I think I just needed to outright say that. Like I was dancing around hurting someone's
I'm
feelings.
like, no, just say it.
Yeah.
You know, I'm here for it. You know?
So in that, that's how that read to me. It's like, oh my God, like, you know, if you're a fan of hip hop, you are like animalistic, which is just, that's a problem. With that said, the difference between like, and again, I'm going to use the Pearl Jam example because that's the most recent thing in music history like this. Some Pearl Jam's manager came on stage, you know, to tell the lead singer, I know the lead singer of Pearl Jam's name,
It's Eddie Vedder.
Eddie Vedder, thank you. Yes.
Eddie, let's go surfing Vedder.
Oh my God! Like, there's a whole episode on Portlandia of Eddie Vedder that I love. I know who Eddie Vedder is. I have a weird connection with Pearl Jam. Aside, total aside. We'll jump back into that in a second. So his manager whispered in Eddie's ear. Eddie stopped the show and he's like, listen, we heard that like we have some people in trouble in the front that are getting like same thing, crowd crush. We need everyone to take 5 steps back and give everybody room. And that's it. You know what I mean? Like, because I know shit is going to happen at concerts. Not, you know, like, but it's like, once you know shit is going, like, do your best as a fucking human to, like, make sure people don't get any more hurt. I don't know. Is that crazy? Someone stop me.
Right? What a thought.
What a thought. And it's just...
Oh, yeah. I also remember the term. It's called hate moshing. Like, it's an actual thing. Like, I was like, am I, like, dreaming this? Like, there's an actual word for this, right? And I was like, oh, wait, it's hate moshing. But, yeah, it's like when you go and, like, just, like, fuck people up when they're not, like, dancing in a hardcore show. Like, you know what I mean? Like, these things exist. And, like, you know what I mean? It's when people act like it doesn't, you know? Especially, like, you know, how we're just talking about, like, white people, like, you know, trying to make it seem like, oh, you know, if you listen to hip-hop or go to these shows, blah, 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 you know. But yeah, just
no, you're absolutely right.
Something I just thought of. But yeah,
you're absolutely right. And it's funny you bring up hate moshing because my roommate Henry also told me about it, and it's like something that I've heard of in the past, but I have never been in that situation. Like I just feel like my music does not
want to be.
Yeah, my music taste does not skew into the people that would be into hate moshing. I might be wrong on that, but like. I feel like I'm, you know, I feel like I've talked about it on the pod. Like I love
hate mosh at a Jack's Mannequin concert.
Okay,
like, let's go. Let's go fucking do it. Like,
you know, like yeah, exactly. Like I my music taste definitely skews on the lighter side of things. I love hardcore shit, but I'm not really a hardcore kid. Because if you're not hardcore, anyway. Unless you live hardcore. A little School of Rock to break up how angry Astroworld makes me.
Yeah,
because again, like down to the like fucking apology video, and then finding out that he
apology video.
I'm so happy we're memeing it, but like,
but still, it's shit. It's really shitty, you know. But yeah, like the memes are funny, but yeah,
it's like you know,
like that's what you're giving your fans that died and their poor families that are still grieving and.
You know, it's just like that's the best. I don't know, like really, it just makes my blood boil. And then I guess to like not even wrap it up because I want to talk about it. But like, I really do think his career, like, I think his career is gonna be much like a Chris Brown, where I don't think he's going to like not be famous anymore. But liability wise, like, do you think anyone will ever take on a Travis Scott show again?
I think so. I think
you think like someone, yeah, like in a few years, like wait for this shit to blow over?
Unfortunately, I do think so. Yeah, you know, I'm definitely not doubting it. Because I feel like a lot of like, you know, as you know, like you talking about Chris Brown and stuff, like a lot of these men, you know, just don't get any like kind of accountability, and they still get to be famous and, you know, make their money and have all their fans still, and you know, and
it just makes me like, again, I'm not. I wanted to watch those videos and be like, yeah, look, Trav is doing the best he can, and he didn't you know, like. It was just like, I don't know what I was expecting when I heard the news. I was just thinking, oh, this is tragic. And then seeing those kids do literally everything in their power just to get someone in power.
Yeah, like they were screaming and like trying to like talk to security and everything, and like nobody was listening to them, and it's just like insane. And I get it, like I know like people want to defend their favorite artists and you know, try to find like, you know, maybe they're doing their best and everything, but like at the end of the day, and it's like it sucks, especially like, you know, as someone who grew up and, you know, same with you, like loving all these bands and musicians and thinking, you know, they make all this music that means so much to us, but at the end of the day, they're still celebrities, and like, you know, I'm not saying all these celebrities don't care about their fans, but you know, it's different. Like, you know, I don't want to say like, oh, like celebrities like don't give a shit, like, you know, like I said, some of them probably do, but you know, they got their money and, you know, they're living their lives while other people are, you know, suffering, and these families and stuff, and yeah.
I apologize if either of you didn't mention this, but did you talk about the
Don't say
the
sorry.
report of like someone getting stabbed by a needle at any point?
Yeah, but I've also heard contradicting.
Was this at Astroworld or
yeah,
is this
at Astroworld?
Yeah, it was a police officer who had reported it, and it's been like since proven to be potentially a false claim. So,
Yeah,
like,
it's false. Okay.
Wild. I don't know if that's worth mentioning or not, but
like, I'm gonna keep that bit in, and I'm gonna keep this bit in too, because that's the kind of lazy I'm feeling for Thanksgiving, guys.
Okay.
Yeah, it's just like excuse, and even if like I've never heard of someone injecting free drugs into anyone's system ever. I mean, with the exception of roofies, but like different.
Yeah, that's different.
Not to laugh about roofies, but like just different reasoning behind that. Otherwise, we're talking about, even though I think it's important, obviously, to talk about Astroworld because it is something in the scene. Newer scene, but scene nonetheless. Yeah, so everything just feels like an excuse to like try to save Travis's career, and I will openly admit, and it won't do anything, or it will. I don't know if this is true, but like I fully unfollowed Travis Scott on Spotify, so like Spotify doesn't accidentally just send me his music or put it on like.
Oh right.
And that's how passionate I feel about not supporting Travis Scott ever again. And that's really because I'm not gonna sit here and tell my fans. I don't have fans. We don't
got all the fans.
Like I'm really talking.
I'm
like
your fan.
I'm really talking like I'm somebody, right? But I'm not here to lie to you guys. Like I fully sometimes still dabble in problematic bands, and I'm not a perfect human. Is what I'm trying to say with my music listening. I do my best, but sometimes a bitch wants to listen to Jesus Christ.
Oh, I feel that.
Yeah.
Sometimes they'll come up and I'm like, oh, especially like Brand New's like first.
Yeah,
is it their first album? But like, I don't know. Just hold on while I fact check.
Yeah, no worries. But to like, while Kim fact checks, it's like I'm in no way saying I am perfect. When it's so blatant, you don't give a fuck what's happening to your fans. I guess that's my breaking point. That is literally like
level of like just straight up like yeah.
Evil. Like, here's the thing, and like I could just see it happening now, and I want it to be known right here. This is how it's gonna go. Travis is going to probably become the next Chris Brown in terms of like, again, he'll still be making music. He'll still get features on shit. Things are going to die down. But I do think it's going to get harder for him to be as big as he once was. Like, there's never going to be an Astroworld again, Travis Scott is a piece of shit. I don't know. The end. That's it. Where was I going with this? Oh, I know how it's going to end. Travis Scott will never be as big as he once was, in my opinion. Could be wrong there. Just have that, like, he will become a Chris Brown level. Kylie will leave him because you can't market him anymore. They're not going to let you get, that's not in the brand. And yeah, I don't know. I just hope it doesn't happen again. That's all you can really, I hope it's a big learning experience. But yeah. Any other thoughts, Kim? Again, I know we rambled.
Yeah, like I think
I rambled. I fully rambled.
Yeah, I'm like I think we got like pretty much, all the thoughts I had for the most part about like, I can like go on about this forever, honestly, but like, yeah, it's just a lot.
There's just so much, and we'll probably revisit the topic because more and more is coming out. Like, unfortunately, even like what the 10th victim was that 9-year-old this week, and it's so sad to me that like there was and like again, then I'm seriously shifting the tone, guys, because like I want this to be more of a happier episode, but we got to talk about what's happening in the scene. there was a 9-year-old boy who went to Astroworld with his dad and was sitting on his dad's shoulders. And the amount of people that blamed his dad, like, why is there a kid at Astroworld now? I also have heard there was a 2-year-old at Astroworld. That is something completely different. But I have seen kids at festivals.
Yeah.
I am someone who will, I am someone who, like, like, no lie, when I have a child, I want it to be a concert. I will take you to and I'll do all the precautions. Like, this dad sounded like, he, honest to God, just wanted to show his son a good time. They stood in the back of the crowd, and it was that bad that he lost consciousness with his son on his shoulders, and it breaks my heart. So, and that's where we land there. It's just like Travis Scott created that situation, and I personally can never forgive him for it. But you know what? There's so many other bands that we are thankful for that first off, we've seen videos, like, I'm not going to shout out people that I know Kim is going to shout out, but people who we have videos of just taking care of their fucking fans, like, I don't know. You're going to move on. If you're like, I don't know, take care of each other is what I'm going to leave on that note. And on this note, we're going to shift gears and talk about fucking music we're thankful for, because we just need to smile, right, Kim?
Right. Let's talk about little, hopefully like non-problematic bands,
So yeah, I'm just going to, bands I'm fucking thankful for. Top of my list right now. And again, like, so me and Kim wrote our notes down. So like, I didn't want to mention bands that they had mentioned in their list. So I'm, there's a lot of mutual shit. And like, I also realized that, like, I feel like you guys have heard me thank Evanescence before, so I didn't want to harp on that again. Like, I'm the reason why I am today because I got fallen. You guys have heard that story. But what you guys might not know is that, like, I don't think I've really talked about my love for Green Day and how much, like, the Jesus of Suburbia music video kind of shaped my perspective of what music could be. And that, I mean, like, American Idiot in general, like, it wasn't my first rock opera because I was definitely exposed to The Who as a child. And, if this was, I wanted to talk about, like, all my music influences. It's like, obviously I would talk about the Beatles. I would talk about, Rolling Stones, The Who, all the classic shit that I was exposed to young. But that's not the theme of the podcast. I know we sometimes venture into other things, but I wanted to keep it pop punk related, emo. So Green Day falls into that category of just like something that was, our generation. And like, yeah, like we had American Idiot, and then American Idiot obviously influenced other rock operas that happened, which Kim will mention. Because again, there's gonna be crossovers, and I'm sure people can put together what's the connection there. But yeah, going back to Jesus is Suburbia, that's just the narrative of, this boy. It's such a simple story. Like, we've all heard it. Like, growing up in a town that you are outgrowing and you want more for yourself, and you're stuck in the toxic, under like the toxic currents, is that what I want to say, of, daily life and what you're surrounded by. And I think to a teenager watching that music video, it just like, I was just like, I don't know. I'm nothing like Saint Jimmy, but I saw myself in Jimmy, and I'm sure a lot of other people did. Kim, have you ever seen the music video?
Yeah, I've definitely watched the music video, the like 10-minute one, right? Yeah.
Yeah, it's like 10
right,
minutes.
about 10 minutes or so.
It's fucking
like
10.
That. But yeah, no, I definitely sat through that whole music video as a kid, especially just on YouTube, like all day after school.
Yeah, it's one of those music videos too. Like, yeah, it's 10 minutes, so it's like, again, it's a mini episode of whatever, but it's shot beautifully. I think, as a teenager who didn't know what I don't know, I wanted to get into, animation or film or, my industry is what more so I'm trying to say. That definitely, like, I just realized that you can tell a complete story in not a complete story, but like you could tell a story in short form, which sounds like a duh, but like it was cool to see it in a music video form. And just, I don't know, it's just fucking epic. The feeling it gives you, the glimpse inside this character for this album. I don't know. I was hooked. It was beautiful. And then, you know, just to kind of wrap up my thoughts on Green Day, you know, like my 5th grade graduation song was Time of Your Life, you know, so we had to sing that. Waiting became like one of my favorite songs ever. Something about that music video too is just like, you know, when Billy Joel is just looking at the camera, it's just like, it's not like I don't mean that in like a sexual way. I just mean that in like oh my God, it just like, there's something so good about Green Day shit. And like, even like, I was gonna say even their new stuff. No, their last album was not great, but you know what? A pretty goddamn good track record up until that. Kim, do you have any thoughts on Green Day?
Definitely. Like, I don't know. I just feel like they were just like one of like my biggest influence. And like you were saying, like American Idiot was like pretty much the time.
That was a big deal.
Like that whole like, you know, just that like 2004 that album came out. It was just like, you know, just a time where I was just like finding a lot of music too, and you know, also going back, you know, and listening to their older stuff. Like I really enjoyed Warning. I don't know if a lot of people like that one, and like, you know, just their older albums. Obviously, like Dookie. Like I think everybody owns like a Dookie shirt, myself included. You know, just really like iconic, and you know, a lot of people like to gatekeep about like music genres and stuff like that, but you know, I'm gonna say like, you know, those albums were like,
you know, and like there's Johnny Rotten, who is from the Sex Pistols. He's the lead singer of fucking Sex Pistols, and I don't really
I think
fucks with the Sex Pistols.
Like chatting about like how you don't fuck with them, right?
About this, right? Yeah. I really don't fuck with Sex Pistols. Johnny Rotten is literally living up to his name of being like the worst rotten human. But he was very quick to denounce Green Day and just call him poser.
Yeah.
Like, you know, like what are those things? Like the most poserish thing you can do as a punk is call someone else a poser.
Right.
And it's like, fuck you. Like Green Day is so influential. Like they are part of the reason, you know, like this is why we're here. They have influenced so many of our favorite bands. You know, when I think about, you know, who I feel like I know in music, I feel like I know the guys. I feel like, you know, we've come to really know Billy Joel and Trey and, God, I always forget the bassist.
Mike Dirnt?
Yes. Oh my God.
Right,
I couldn't even like think of that. I'm like, I know that fucking name. Oh my gosh.
So
no,
yes,
I feel that.
Billy, Mike, and Trey, like you just kind of feel like you know it. And again, American Idiot was a big wake-up call, but you can look at really, like, it's funny, everyone has a Dookie shirt. I had like, I didn't have a Dookie shirt, unfortunately. I would love to own a Dookie shirt, but I borrowed a friend's Kerplunk shirt a lot. I mean, that's, and it's like not really something I see often. I feel like Kerplunk is not that celebrated of an album, but it's great. Freaking 21st Century Breakdown. There's like my only school photo that I've ever liked, ever, like I hate every school photo I've ever taken, is me wearing a 21st Century Breakdown shirt. It's like a gun and there's a rose coming out of it.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
The Hot Topic was really serving me a look then. I had like a blue flannel. My hair's got all these colors in it, and it's the epitome of like, you know, the 2010s look. And I'm happy to have that as like a photo on my dad's wall when I go home. Yeah, we love Green Day. You know, I feel like other bands, obviously, that I'm thankful for. I talked about how Spanish love songs got me through the pandemic, and specifically the album Brave Faces, everyone. They are still, like, I was listening to them today. I'm, it's getting cold out. Your girl's feeling emotional. There's still something so comforting in knowing that you are not alone in your later 20s into your 30s and feeling this way. It's so refreshing to hear about, like, hey, you still are going to feel lost.
Yeah, I'm really glad you put me onto them, because like that's definitely how I feel about them. And it's just, because I listen to a lot of stuff that I listen to, as you probably do too, like that we listen to like in middle school and high school and shit, and like it's just nice to have something like, a little refreshing about like this time in our lives and being, getting old. Not really, but you know what I mean, like.
Yeah, no, but it's like turning 30 is like, I mean, we still have a little bit to go, but it's not too, like, we can't deny it. We're about to come across this next moment of our lives, or section of our lives that like everyone has defined for us, like, and by that I mean, like, again, like, I feel like we were all taught a lie that our lives kind of end at 30, and like, we have realized that's not necessarily true. We realize that 30 is like a significant time. Like, we're no longer the youngins, but it's still really cool to hear again. It's cool to be lost in your 30s. No one's really got it all figured out, and Spanish Love Songs just does that in such a great way. Again, I've talked about them in the past, so I won't stay long, but I'm happy I introduced you to them at Kim. I hope we can see them together soon. I mean, they're great. I mean, that's how I literally discovered them, because I can jump into this a little bit earlier than I was going to talk about, but I discovered Spanish Love Songs by seeing the Wonder Years, another very significant band for my 20s, because, again, like, I feel like, the Wonder Years really encapsulated what your 20s are, especially your early 20s. And then, like, with the catalyst of being like, oh my God, once you hit 26, you're like, wait a minute. Life is like it. You're no longer you're not young blood anymore. You're just like, oh wait, I'm supposed to have this shit figured out.
Imagine that, getting my shit together. Sounds fake.
And with social media and shit like that too, it's like everyone feels like they have it so fucking together. And it's not. It's like, it's like, I struggle so much. But yeah, it's so great that like a band that already meant so much to me introduced me to another band that became so important to me. I would even argue that like I'm a bigger Spanish Love Song fan than I am a Wonder Year fan, but like in that same breath, though they are not necessarily my favorite band, The Greatest Generation just means the world to me as an album. I have lost friends, and their songs that make me think of them, and it makes me think of the good parts, but understand why it had to end. They make me think of my exes and things that like just didn't work out. And it's just, it does what music's supposed to do. It makes you feel
something.
It's good to know that you can still feel something.
Like, I'm not totally dead inside, right? Like, let me just listen to the Wonder Years real quick.
It's good shit, man. And then, like the Wonder Years, I like keeping on track with like my 20s, modern baseball. I stumbled onto modern baseball. I should have mentioned this on the YouTube episode when we were talking about how we discovered music. I was like dead ass just like working on like maybe an application to get into college. And back then we had like Pandora, but Spotify wasn't really a thing yet. So we were still consuming a lot of our music through YouTube. And I just let YouTube do like its algorithmic thing. And like, I was probably listening to insert another whiny band here. And it led up into, Your Graduation. I'm so stupid. I didn't even need it. Like it came to me. Yes. Okay, so I'm just going to take it from, so while I was applying to colleges, I was letting YouTube's algorithm do its thing, and I got served Your Graduation by Modern Baseball, and it, like, I don't know if it was like, maybe I was already listening to the Front Bottoms. It was probably that, because I definitely had gotten into the Front Bottoms because of John Green. That's a whole nother story. Got into Front Bottoms, listened to Maps on repeat as I was like applying to colleges, put Maps on like the last mixtapes that I ever created to give all my friends. And Maps led into Modern Baseball, and I was just like, there's more. There's more to this shit, which introduced me to Midwestern emo, and I'm not sorry for loving Midwestern emo. So Modern Baseball meant a lot to my early 20s, means more to me now in my later 20s after like revisiting them and like actually doing like a really deep dive into their discography. Jack's Mannequins, Everything in Transit. I give that album a listen once a year. I know I have friends that think Jack's Mannequin is such a joke.
Do? Wait,
Shout out to you. Shout out to you, Jeff. He'll never listen to this. My friend was like, yeah, what was that really shitty band that did it sounded like Dark Blue. And I was like, Jack's Mannequin. And I love them. Everything in Transit is, again, just an album that from start to finish, I don't skip. You know, like, every time I'm in California, I gotta make a fucking reference. I'm not sorry. It's just the perfect, like, breakup and get back together album, but also with that, like, again, that twinge of just, you don't know what the right thing is to do. It's good storytelling. Listen to it all the way through if you never have. Fully will take you on a journey. Yeah, Kim, you're also a fan of Jack's Mannequin, though,
definitely.
Right?
Like I've never gotten the chance to like see them live or anything, and it was just like cool to like.
Oh my God.
Like when I first like met you, like I didn't really know a lot of people who like knew Jack's Mannequin, or like a lot of these like, I don't know. There was just like a group of like bands that I would kind of like lump in together, and like I wouldn't consider Jack's Mannequin like hipstery, but like. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know, like, how to explain it, but they were just, like, a group of bands I would just, like, listen to, like, in a consecutive playlist, like them, like, Death Cab for Cutie, like, stuff like that. And, like, I didn't really know a lot of people who, like, listened to stuff like that, because a lot of my friends at the time, like, especially, like, college years, listened to, like, hardcore music, and, you know, and, like, I loved going to hardcore shows and stuff, but, like, I also had, like, this other... I just am in many different genres, so as you know, so yeah.
No, I absolutely know what you mean. Like this is a good way to kind of circle into like Jack's Mannequin and Say Anything kind of fall into that like category for me, where it's like, yeah, the hardcore kids weren't listening to them, but they fell into the weird middle ground of like kids that enjoyed pop punk, but they also enjoyed indie and like you know. Maybe we graduated into Midwestern emo.
Exactly.
You know, like it feels like there was like that, like, you know, like that's the common thing. Like we kind of came from that background, but Jack's Mannequin was like, and like I would also add the Academy is.
Yeah, I was just about to mention William Beckett and like seeing him like live, like doing his solo stuff too.
So you saw Academy live?
No,
live?
I just William Beckett, like not like the
Okay.
band, but like it was just him doing like some his solo stuff. You know. Yeah, it was like years ago. Like I think probably like I was like 18, 19 maybe. I went with like my friend Amy. Shout out if you're listening to this, hopefully, maybe. But yeah, this was like a while ago. I'm pretty sure I went with her. But yeah, it was William Beckett like solo show.
I love to hear that. Yeah, I really hope they like do a reunion thing. I don't think they ended on bad terms. I just think they stopped touring as a band. But yeah, but they fell into that weird category where it's like, it was like, I don't know, like as someone who dressed very emo, like I look back, I'm like, why the hell did you dress like that? Like for some reason, it brought us with the indie kids that maybe influenced us later in whatever way. And it was cool. And yeah, like, again, I mentioned Say Anything, obviously, being in that category. Say Anything just feels like home to me, because I feel like that no matter how my tastes change, like again, favorite bands are favorite bands, so maybe this isn't as deep, but I just feel like no matter what, I can just pop in a Say Anything song and just feel like it's feel what I felt the first time, or like, you know, like it feels like home to me. Like it's just my comfort music. Max Bemis means the world to me. I know he has not always been the best guy. I'm just saying his words have meant the world to me. And also, I'm not, you know, whatever. Not everyone, like, as long as he has never hurt anyone. And I'm specifically talking about, like, I saw someone saying, like, hey, I hate Max Bemis because he was supposed to write these songs for fans, and then, like, for some reason it took years for those songs to get really to the fans.
Like, why?
I mean, there's that, and he was also, like, he's bipolar, and he had episodes while he was on the road, and then he got medicated and got it under control. I don't know. It's like one of those things where it's like, yeah, there's a lot of assholes in music. There's a lot of assholes everywhere. That's not, you know, like, it feels weird after just talking about Travis Scott. That's different. You know, like, that's a different kind of asshole. That's a different monster. Level. Yeah. Yeah, I guess what I'm trying to say is, like, yeah, sometimes people are just not likable, but you could still like what they created. Like, he didn't, like, yeah, maybe he, like, I don't know. That's like a lesser cancelable offense to me. I'm like, I'm sorry that your song that was personally written for you took a year or whatever. Again, if someone has more details into that I'm not like, oh my God, like, you can send it to me, but I feel like I do have all the facts because I've heard the story so many times that I just personally don't care. I'm still a fan of Say Anything. But yeah, just to kind of top it off, Lights, the artist Lights. It's always weird mentioning Lights because it just feels so, like, it's one syllable. But the artist Lights means the world to me because her album, Skin and Earth, was like my comfort album during a tough time in my life, that being my breakup. I had that on repeat all throughout 2017 into 18. Japan Droids I've mentioned a number of times. Probably last episode. I don't know. I've mentioned Japan Droids, a favorite band, also reminds me of my college years, and just, you know, I love songs that remind me of house parties, and by that I mean what my house parties were, so like Red Solo Cups and us shoved in a basement and, like, just, you know, we weren't cool, but you know,
like, as long as you're having a good time, like,
everyone's wearing flannel. Yeah,
everyone's wearing a flannel. There you go. That's like a really good way to describe those kind of parties. Definitely.
Yeah, I love. You know, we got a bonfire, we got Red Solo Cups, and we got flannels with beanies on. You can picture it. But it's such a great time, especially when it's like, you know, you're coming to see old friends that you haven't seen in a while. That's what Japan Droids makes me feel. And then my last shout out, and then Kim, please talk about anything I might have mentioned, but I also realize I feel like I've been hijacking the conversation. The song Thrash Unreal by Against Me. That is legitimately one of my favorite songs, like, gotta be top 5.
Yeah, no, it is a really good song. I definitely have that on one of my playlists. And I remember there was, like, one time, I think earlier this year, I kind of had that song on repeat just because, I don't know, it's just so good.
I think we're also at that point of our life that we can feel that song a lot better than we could when we were 13, because, you know what I mean? Like, it's literally, like, my parents listen to the podcast, but I don't think they would deny it. Like, my mom's like, oh, so how's your dating life going? And I'm just like, if she wants to dance and drink all that, you know, her mother had her dreams that her daughter's going to grow up to sleep alone. And here I am in my late 20s sleeping alone. And, you know, I go out and I realize that the crowd is getting younger and younger, and you know, that's all I'm trying to say. Again, it's just another relatable end of your 20s and you're entering your 30s kind of song, but also very beautiful because it's like just taking charge of that era of your life. Like, yeah, I wouldn't change anything for the world. It's a beautiful song. I think it's one of the best songs written in the last decade. Against Me holds a special place in my heart. It is my karaoke song. Yeah. All right, there we go. Shout outs to Lord Jane Grace. Fucking badass. We're thankful for you, Ma.
Yeah, I remember like Frank Iero with his like his own band went on tour with Against Me. I didn't go, but yeah, I remember like they were like they've been like I guess friends for a while. I don't know how long, but you know I've always like seen like them like interact with each other, which was kind of cool.
Who loves that? Yeah, I mean Laura to me is the definition of punk, so it makes sense because Frankie is
punk as fuck. Yeah,
punk as fuck
for sure.
Yeah, Kim.
Yeah.
Give me music. Give me bands you're thankful for. I just want.
It's
I
just like
hear
tough
it.
to like curate because I feel like you know like you mentioned there was just like different like you know points in your life like depending on your age and like where you were at like what bands really like impacted you during that time. You know, I feel like a lot of the bands I'm probably gonna mention are like a little like older probably because I was just thinking of bands that like kind of like were like the most like formative to like my existence basically like my you know like my taste in music like you know my interests and stuff like that and just but yeah you know obviously you know how it is.
No, like looking at your list I recognize like how every one of these bands have influenced your life you know and like influenced the bands that you know we talk about now like because obviously we're always recommending each other new music and it's just like you know I'm gonna let you take it but like it's just like oh this band definitely influenced that
right
person
like it makes sense
like,
right yeah exactly
yes it makes sense to who we have become as people.
Yeah, it's wild.
So, yeah.
We old but yeah I guess like one of the first bands I put was obviously like and again some of these I've definitely mentioned in previous episodes so I'll try not to spend too much time on them but Linkin Park you know definitely one of my like first favorite bands still listen to pretty frequently till this day you know just like especially like you know all the stuff that they like sung about you know just really like hit home like angsty like teenage me and like even now till this day it's like weird but it just you know especially listening to certain songs as you get older just like hit a little different. Green Day you know we talked about a bunch earlier obviously definitely a very influential band and I feel like especially like when I first started listening to them like you know we're talking like 2004 and stuff I guess going back and listening to their older stuff I you know I always was like oh I always wanted to start like a shitty like punk band like you know what I mean like it was always something I wanted to do and like you know maybe it'll happen who knows but yeah I feel like they were just such an influence yeah I don't know I just want to be in a shitty punk band like who doesn't you know yeah them who else definitely Blink
definitely Blink and again like I saw Blink on your list but that's why I didn't choose to talk about them but I mean like again I want you to have the floor because I feel like I ramble but like yeah no Blink another reason for the season I don't think we would have a podcast had it not I mean you know somebody would have stepped in but like Blink you know I said Green Day really kicked off pop punk and yes I still stand by that but I think Blink defined what pop punk is you know like yeah it's just and it's so wild because like you listen to old Blink and you're just like yeah this shit would definitely not fly today
no
like,
for real
but for like you just it just takes you back to that time and just like yeah it wasn't a perfect time that we grew up in but it makes you feel young in a good way you know like I don't know again it's just like wow I don't know. Why am I talking about how problematic the music is? I'm really talking about like, you know, literally they influence so many of our bands. There would not be, yeah, like, and I don't know. I really hope, like, I know technically Blink is still touring. I really do hope the original lineup gets back together, and I think they will. They're all real cool with each other, and, you know, I know.
Yeah, I think things got a little better with them. So, you know, I do have hope that they'll come around.
I really hope so, because I would love to see, you know, just the original three back together. Yeah, I don't know. Again, I want to give the mic back over to you, but Blink, is important
no, we
to
love
the
Pink.
genre as a whole. Like, Mount Rushmore of pop punk,
Yeah,
for sure.
no, I agree. And it's just like, you know, I guess a lot of their songs, especially like, you know, like you said, the older ones, they're not perfect, especially like, you know, maybe might come off a little, I don't know if they're problematic. I don't know. I don't care. But like, yeah, just like, I don't know, Blink-182 is just very like, I just like certain songs like just make you feel like, you know, just, you know, some of them are like kind of like immature and stuff, and that's why I like them. You know what I mean? Like,
exactly, because it reminds we, no matter what, like I fully acknowledge that the time in which we grew up in, you know, like it was just an immature time for fucking humanity. I feel like, I mean, like, and it's still relevant today. Like, people are obviously still saying problematic shit, but like, I don't know, or just being at a skate park, or just like, you know, it just feels very early 2000s, no matter what. I don't know if that was the most eloquent way to word that, but it's just a very nostalgic feeling in the best way when I listen to Blink.
I saw them with Mike Chem, and I went with like was like,
oh, really?
Yeah, and Alkaline Trio opened up for them. It was the Honda Civic tour. Yeah, it was a fun time. It was like Blink-182 came on after MCR, and it started like downpouring. It was such a fun show, though. I bought a poster earlier in the you know, early in the day, but it got fucked up in the rain, but worth it. Yeah, it was just such a fun show. Like the lights and everything, and everyone it was just crazy. Yeah, but
they're the epitome of fun. That's the thing. And like, I know, like, obviously there are songs that aren't as fun, but even, I don't know, like on the Untitled album, which I guess would just be Blink-182. I don't know, the Untitled album, like a fucking staple. Like, you know, we have so many gems on that album. Again, I'm trying not to hijack this, so I'm like keeping it short. There's so much to say this, and like, yeah, feeling like, to keep it on holiday brand, I know we're not at Christmas yet, but I listen to Happy Holidays
every fucking
like,
year.
Every year I wait until Christmas Eve to wrap my gifts, and I'm like
blasting that in the background.
like, wrap it. Fucking presents.
It's also the only Labor Day song that comes to mind.
Like, it's Labor Day.
Like, how?
Like, I hope, you know, I'm going to shout out my friend Matt Mitchell for a second, because that's one of his favorite lines in any song. It's Labor Day. Just
I'm here for it.
Fucking hot dogs. Yes. Anyway, like, yeah, it's just the epitome of like immature music in a way, and it's still good. It's so good.
It's like want to be like mindless and immature sometimes. Like, let me be, you know.
Yeah. I'll let you go on. Like, if you have more to say about Blink, but
yeah, I mean, there's like other bands. Like, I mean, have you? Well, I don't know if it's like too much Blink talk, but like, did you ever get to listen to Plus 44?
Yeah, I know Plus 44.
Oh, so good. Yeah, I was just like reminiscing on them when I was like writing my list of bands. I'm like, oh, Plus 44. I love them, even though they had like one album, but I don't care. So good.
Plus 44, and even like when we consider like fucking did I mention Angels and Airwaves when I don't know.
Oh,
I don't know.
No, but I was just listening to them the other day, and like my mom's sister, my aunt, like loves to make me like feel old, so she'll just like send me random stuff from like the music I used to listen to, like Angels and Airwaves, definitely, like, you know, old anime stuff, and like, you know, just she was there, you know what I mean, like for all these, like, you know, just me like finding all these new bands. It's just crazy.
Oh, that's adorable.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, Angels and Airwaves is kind of like a strange one for me, because I obviously have like a soft spot for that band, but because, you know, that all occurred during our high school, middle school years, probably our freshman year of high school, to be honest, but I might be off on that. But what I'm trying to get at is that Angels and Airwaves has like a diehard following that I need to like dive a little bit deeper into.
Let's get into that fandom. Let's do some research, because I need to know.
I'm like, it's not, again, like, I really like what I know of Angels and Airwaves. So I'm like, really? Like, you guys are going, like, the way in which I see people just go to Angels and Airwaves shows, I'm like, I'm missing something here. So I need to give closer.
Or like Boxcar Racer.
Oh my god, Boxcar Racer.
Yeah, throwback. I used to love them. I still do, but the way I used to listen to them.
The way I thought that was just Blink.
Right, like anything Blink-182 related, I was like eating that shit up. Like,
yeah. But yeah, Boxcar Racer is great. You know, again, there hasn't always been bops from Blink. I'm not gonna sit here and pretend like, there hasn't been some disappointing albums, but it's just like there's so much good that you're just I'm cool with it. I'm like, whatever, just give me a handful of that sweet nostalgia. I'm good.
Exactly. Oh, you get me. Yeah, because I'm not saying they're perfect. And again, like just like Green Day, people would say shit like, oh, they're not real punk or whatever. And me. I'm like, you know what? I'm just here for a good time.
I'm here for a good time, not long term.
Right, exactly.
Feeling it.
Oh, man. But yeah, they're like another band that I've mentioned in the podcast. I'm not going to spend too much time on. Every Time I Die, definitely like one of those bands I found like really early on YouTube, and like one of like the heavier quote unquote bands, So yeah, I don't know. They're just like such a big influence on me, and I've seen them live like so many times. They're always like really crazy, really good, like never a dull moment. But yeah, they also had I don't know. Have you heard of the Damn Things by any chance? There was like a super group. They were with two people from Fall Out Boy. So we got Keith Buckley from Every Time I Die. We got Joe and Andy from Fall Out Boy. We had who else did we have? We had Scott from fucking what can I think of the band? Anthrax. we had like everybody in there. Who else did we have? Oh, we had freaking Robert from Volbeat, which is like another like, it was just like such a mix of people. We had Josh, who was also the bassist for Every Time I Die, and we also had Dan from Alkaline Trio. I believe he was the bassist in Alkaline Trio.
That's so
but yeah,
cool.
it was just a big super group, and it was a lot of fun. They like made like one, maybe two albums, and then they broke up. Yeah, it was insane. It was so good. And then I found like maybe like one other person like not in college, but like during my time in college. I was like, oh, you know about them? You know what I mean?
For sure. I'm looking forward to this playlist.
Episode iconic. Yeah, same.
Boy.
I was just like thinking, I'm like, oh, get to reminisce on Jack's Mannequin and talk about like all these other fun things. Like, love it here. Right. No, you're good. I'm trying to think, like what to. But yeah, I guess some other bands that I guess were pretty like formative to me, that mean a lot to me, that I'm thankful for, is Tegan and Sara, The Cure, and Him. I've definitely talked about Him on the podcast. We stand. The Cure is like, I guess a little like older, but still like definitely, yeah. Like I get like, is this like that much older than the bands we've mentioned? Like not really, but like a little bit. But
I mean, not definitely older. I didn't want like definitely older. Like yeah. I mean like they were 80s, and honestly, like I feel like I've said this like now 3 times. Had it not been for The Cure, like. I feel,
had it not been for every band we've mentioned today, like nothing would exist.
Nothing would exist. Like obviously, no, but like I really do feel like
no, for real though.
Like if like we're talking about like godfathers of what punk became, I feel like The Cure definitely gave us more of there was a poppy element to it. I don't know. It's so
and like just the hair and the makeup and shit.
Yeah,
like,
they really they inspired what inspired everything else. So what is there not to say about the fucking Cure?
Exactly. Like you get it.
I get it.
And then just with Tegan and Sara, it was just like I feel like they also fell into that like group of like those like quote unquote like indie-ish artists like that we were talking about earlier.
For sure.
And it was just like cool just to see like female queer artists at the time, and
sorry,
yeah, like what
we love. Well, because like I saw Tegan and Sarah on your list. I was like, Girl in Red, which has become so important. Like,
right?
Like,
thank you.
Like,
thanks to you, Kim. I listened to blah. Thanks to you, Kim. I finally listened to If I Could Make It Go Quiet, and I actually, like, just to take it back, like, I had the luxury of seeing Girl in Red before I really knew to, like, Kim, you put Serotonin on a playlist. It had to be like one of the first 2 podcast episodes. Maybe
probably,
it
yeah.
was like,
mm-hmm.
I think we started playlists on episode 2, or 3. I don't know. It was 3. And you put on Serotonin, and I was hooked, but I didn't like dive that deep. But I got to see Girl in Red live at Firefly, and just seeing her live and hearing the songs in that context, I was like, oh, I get it.
Right.
And then I listened to the album, and like, you know, obviously I heard some of these songs. It was also interesting because like at Firefly, it rained hardcore the first day. So Girl in Red set got cut.
Wow.
Yeah, she only played maybe like 4 or 5 songs. And You Stupid Bitch is one of the songs she played. But like, since I have now like listened to it on the album, it is like I am now giving it a solid run for like, you know, it will show up in my like spot. I mean, we're gonna talk about our Spotify things later, but like it's been on repeat. Horny Lovesick Mess also just on repeat because I feel like it's just so true to who I am right now. And I have to thank you, because you and admittedly my friend Connor, because I think he will get mad at me because he's like, I told you to listen to Girl in Red.
I told you too.
But
yeah,
I listened to Kim.
Yeah. No, they're great.
They're great.
But yeah, I think it's just like good bunch of bands, and that just like influenced me, but obviously so many of these like new artists too, so it's just like wild to see the, you know.
Yeah, and even like going back, because I totally realized I hijacked your Tegan and Sarah talk to talk about Girl in Red, but
oh no, but still, like, they're connected.
They're
in a way.
definitely
I think
connected.
So. Yeah.
But they definitely, Tegan and Sarah, the Con, like
that album,
that whole album is a masterpiece.
And it's one of those albums that like I like had you had not wrote it on your list, I don't think I would have remembered to put it on my list, but you're absolutely like, it absolutely was a turning point to me and like my development in music. Like, I just felt like that's when I became more aware of like the indie side of music, quote unquote.
Same, definitely. Like during that like whole era of like all those bands we mentioned, like Death Cab for Cutie, and like just all those like that general genre. Like, I don't know, I just remember like making these playlists with like all these kinds of bands on it, and like I don't know, and like the way I started like dressing a little differently, you know what I mean, just like more, like you were there for that, like, you know,
no one ever
I'm
talks
sure you
about
had
the
a
middle
fedora
stages.
at some point.
Talks about the
We never talked about
middle
the
phase of like you were emo in middle school and then got bullied so much that you stopped. And then it started up again.
We love the middle stages. I'm still,
I don't know. Again, I don't want to hijack your time. So, Tegan and Sarah definitely still means a lot to both of us as peers.
For sure, but
yeah, I thank you for making me like, again, I don't like whenever I hear a song from the Con, I'm instantly just brought back to being like 19 or 18 years old, and just, I guess, the spark of like womanhood was really like, I don't know, that sounds gross talking out loud, but it's just like I felt womanly in that moment listening to Tegan and Sarah. I was like, oh yes, the woman's plight. We struggle for the rest of our lives, girls.
I'm screaming.
Yes, it all feels like the fucking bell jar. Anyway.
I don't know, I feel like they just, you know, again, like them being like female but also being queer just really took like,
yeah, for sure,
you know, a big place in my heart. And like, I don't know, there was just like a lot of like women artists that were like emerging and during that time, because I feel like a lot of the bands that, and like obviously nothing against any of the guys I've mentioned, because obviously like I love every single band that I've mentioned, and like they're all like mostly men, but I don't know, it was just like cool like during that time to see like women like artists in the scene just emerging and stuff, and like finding more during that time, you know, like we've talked about definitely Evanescence, some of the others I guess that I can remember finding around that time were like Hailstorm, Emily Autumn's kind of goth, and then Tattoo is a little older though, but still like I know they had that video, All the Things She Said. It was like a queer awakening for like so many people apparently, but that's another story. but yeah, I don't know, just a lot of, it was a good time. But yeah, I mean, I could probably mention some newer stuff, but I think these are just
that made you who you are. Yeah. And like also help you realize who you are in a weird way. And like offered a home. Like Tegan Sarah, like obviously like the conversation of sexuality was changing when we were in high school and stuff, but then it was really cool to have the representation in front of us.
Yeah, no, for sure.
Yeah. I kind of wish like I did see Tegan and Sarah. You know, it's one of those things like you wish you were older when you were younger so you could like see them live, and like I would just love to be a flannel wearing bitch at a Tegan and Sarah show, just
hell yeah.
like in a small room.
Wish.
I guess I'll settle for a girl in red before they get really huge.
Right, I guess, yeah. I'll just settle for girl in red. I love that.
Yes.
I mean, I think they'll probably still tour. Like, I'd probably go see them. So I still follow them. Like, yeah, like I know they post pretty frequently on Instagram.
Yeah,
and
they still tour, but it's like they make Lego movie music now, so they're big.
Everything is also
no, I'm not even dissing. Like I like that song, I dead ass do, but I just know it's never like maybe we'll get lucky with like a Brooklyn Steel show, and by that I mean like a mid-sized venue. Like I'm never gonna see them at like a Knitting Factory, which is a smaller venue, or like I don't know, you know what I mean. It's just like I would like that intimate space with Tegan and Sarah that I will never get unless I know about a secret show or something. So
right. And I speaking of smaller shows, like before we like dive into what we're going to talk about next, but like I don't know, I saw a post that just got me really sad recently. It was like about like just like the years that the studio Webster Hall was open, because you know they closed. I was such a like small fun venue. Like I don't know, I'm like I miss that. Like we need more small venues, especially in the city. I feel like there's not like. Well, I mean, I can dedicate a whole episode about the venues in the city, because there are small venues. I mean, it's probably just because COVID. I'm probably like not. I'm like, oh, where are all the small shows at? But you know, I guess they
exist, and they're happening. You know what it honestly is, and forgive me for this, Kim. We're getting old. We don't know. We don't know these bands that
I'm totally screaming.
We don't know these smaller bands that are getting. You know, like sometimes I do. Like not on a favorites list, but actually again may show. Like we're gonna talk about our Spotify Wraps. That was a surprise, guys. We're gonna talk about predictions, but like I had gone to a small show for this band called Sitcom, and I really didn't know what I was getting myself into, but like a friend of a friend knew about the show and took us, and like watching them, it's like one of those feelings like, oh, this is a really good band. I don't know if you're gonna get bigger than what you are right now, but I'm happy I'm here now, kind of feeling. But I realized like all the music I kind of listen to is like, bands that are fully touring or not even that. Like there are smaller venues like I don't know. We call it LPR. It's called the LPR. And that's kind of a smaller venue. And I just saw Meet Me at the Altar there and Lawrence Arms, and
that venue.
Yeah,
okay.
It's actually super intimate. It's almost like a Knitting Factory. Again, like I feel like they are still going on. You just gotta kind of be in the know.
Yeah, I'm just like out of the loop right now. Especially like you said, like we're just getting old. Like
Yeah, it's getting harder and harder. I mean, But yeah, I'm gonna give you back your time. I rambled.
Oh yeah. Yeah, but those, that's pretty much all the bands I guess I wanted to mention, except one that, our big interests. I mean, we have a lot of mutual interests, but besides the fact, like, one of the main reasons we pretty much became friends.
Oh, here it is, everybody.
Our lovely, drum roll please.
Let's play it.
Insert audio here. The lovely, no, you're good. But yeah, My Chemical Romance.
Who?
Anybody?
Who?
Anybody heard of them?
Who?
Those guys? I don't know. You're right. Like, who are these people?
Chemical Brothers. I love them.
My Chemical Brothers.
Oh, God. Yeah.
Yeah, those guys.
You guys have heard us a million times talk about MCR, but yeah.
Here we are again.
Kim has brought it to my attention that it wasn't just Kim. Obviously, I am on emo everything. So yeah, the Black Parade has turned 15. Happy birthday, Black Parade. I'm hijacking.
Yeah, that's why I was like reading. Oh, no, you're not hijacking.
I was hijacking Kim. I was like, this is your moment to shine. Talk about your love for MCR. I want to hear it again. Give it to me, baby.
I want to hear it again. Like, you've heard it enough.
Never enough.
Yeah, it's just like wild. I remember that year I got the album for Christmas. I remember hearing early in the year, like, just hearing the Black Parade on the radio, and it was just like, when you're younger and you're just like, oh, I don't want my favorite band to be on the radio. But like, also like, just like, I don't know. It was just kind of like also nice at the same time hearing them, because I'm like, break your neck and like, is that MCR in my like local supermarket? Or maybe not in the supermarket, but you know what I mean? Like, it'll just be on the radio in the car or something. Like, yeah, I don't know. It's just crazy. And I don't know. The Black Parade was just impactful. So
yeah, I guess that was a weird. I don't even know if it was a weird time for me, because I'll give you the honest truth of what happened with me and Black Parade. But like, yeah, my exposure to MCR was not radio. It was the Helena music video.
Same.
Yeah, like I remember just like being at my cousin's house and watching MTV and seeing the music video, and I was like, what? Huh? This is art. I need to know more about this shit. But to be honest, my first album, it was so my first MCR album, which I think I accidentally bought if someone didn't actually just give it to me, was I Brought You My Bullets, You Brought Me Your Love. And it was weird because that album, like now, like listening to that album, it still holds a very special place in my heart. It was just, like MCR's first album. They actually recorded it in my hometown, which is crazy. I love that little gem of fact. Shout out to Montgomery, New York. Not really whatever, who cares. I went to school in Montgomery, New York. And it's just so different from what MCR would later become. I mean, like, you can always trace back to like, oh my god, like it's still like, obviously they just grew as artists. And what I'm trying to say is I actually did not really care about the Black Parade until a little later. Like, the album had been out for a significant amount of time. And like, obviously I had heard the Black Parade. I feel like I heard Famous Last Words because those were the singles. I did not give a shit about Black Parade until Bobby had downloaded Dead on Rock Band. And I was like, now hold on. What is this theatrics? And now I can make the connection because I didn't want to give away one of Kim's shout outs, even though like anyone who's been listening to this podcast knew they had to come up. Yeah, another fucking great rock opera, like just truly theatrical. I can't wait for the Black Parade musical. I'm calling it now. Andrew Lloyd Webber, write it.
Make it happen.
Make it happen. It could be the Phantom of the Opera, but it's in parade form. Let's do it.
Yes.
Little side note, it was Guitar Hero 2 for Xbox 360.
Was it? I literally...
I even changed it in your notes.
I'm so mad right now because like I was between the two of them and I could have just Googled it, but I was like, I'm gonna take a gamble. It was actually Rock Band because like, fuck.
No, it was exclusive to the Xbox 360 version. It was part of like the first set of songs that you could play.
Yeah.
It was sick. Loved it.
No, it was
I had the PS2 version, so I definitely didn't have that song.
Oh my god, it was so fun to watch. First off, watch Bobby play, because Bobby is he's like, if Bobby picked up a Guitar Hero guitar, he'd probably still fucking crush it. I'm thankful for that experience of getting to know Bobby during his peak Guitar Hero rock band phase. It was just like watching live music. Anyway,
Bobby should stream.
Bobby, you should stream Guitar Hero.
I did play Clone Hero very briefly, like maybe like last year or so.
Right. I peeped that.
And sorry, not last year, 2 years ago. God, oh my god, losing track of time. It was fun, but I feel like just like the audience wasn't really there for it. It was just like me clacking along and all that stuff. I had a bad microphone at the time too, so that probably didn't really like lend well to the situation. Maybe I'll come back to it someday. It's just that it occupies so much like disk space on my computer. It's hard to have like a big collection of music in that.
Damn. I was about to say, like, if we get like, I'm not even going to say likes because I don't even know. Like, I think YouTube is the only place that we could see likes. I was going to say, though, if we get like 20 reshares, we'll have Bobby stream dead on.
It's like, I didn't.
I know. I just made it up right now. I don't care. I said it on the podcast. I'm not editing it out, so he has to do it.
Ooh.
You got to tweet it out on the podcast Twitter account, and then underneath I'm going to respond ratio, and if that gets more likes, then I don't have to do it.
Yes, there it is. We can start. We're starting a Twitter war. Please, everyone, reshare this episode when it comes out. But yeah, that's how I got exposed to the Black Parade, and then Bobby had the album, and I think did you lend me all the albums, or?
Yeah, I think I had all 3 of the ones that were out at that point in time. I had loaned them to you so you can put them on your iPod or whatever it is that you had at the time. I had a Zune because I was one of those kids that insisted that the Zune was cooler and better.
President Obama would agree with me.
Same with Clint McElroy, but yeah, that was how that all started.
Yeah. So I was late to the Black Parade train. I was never late for another MCR release after that. I know there was only technically two, I guess, if you count Fake Your Death. But yeah, I believe in Disenchanted Supremacy. That is one of the best songs MCR has ever made. Love it. Kim, I'll let you talk about our boys if you still have words.
Gosh, I don't know what else to say about them that I haven't said already.
What's your favorite?
I'm thankful for you.
Yeah. What's your favorite song off of Black Parade? Since it's the 15th anniversary.
Yeah, Disenchanted is definitely a fave. I remember at one point, Famous Last Words was like, I was like, I'm gonna get that shit tattooed on my chest.
Ass,
yeah, but hold on, let me.
I have toyed with the thought of still getting a Famous Last Word tattoo, something just like on my ankle, like.
Yeah, no, something like would definitely be cool for that album. I don't know, but yeah, I don't know. Dead is really good. Disenchanted, Supremacy, All Day, Every Day.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like I talked about how I got in trouble for listening to Mama, but like just the fact that Liza Minnelli was on that track, and again, it's so epic. Yeah. Again, I won't harp on it because this will not be the last time we fucking talk about the Black Parade again, because like it's like the 5th time we brought it up on this podcast.
on our
5th episode, we have also talked about My Chem. Wow, crazy how we didn't name this podcast after a My Chem song at this point. But yeah.
15 years.
15 years.
Old.
Yeah,
that's
it's
it.
been a lot of like I didn't realize. Not to say that we're not going to talk about this at all because it doesn't fit into this sphere of music. But Back to Black also turned 15, and I didn't realize it was the same year. So yeah.
What a year! Holy shit!
Yeah.
2006, man.
Dead ass. Like we got Back to Black. Amy Winehouse at arguably her peak. I mean, there wasn't much after, but unfortunately, but good year for music, 2006. But yeah. Oh, wait. Back up though. So a little like personal info. I get a DM from Kim with a photo attached from Mikey Way's Instagram, and apparently Mikey was hanging outside the water parks tour bus, and it's
like,
so
they're, like,
cute.
friends, obviously, but it's so fucking funny.
Yeah, I'm like, what do you mean you waited hours for somebody? You could have been like, hey, I'm from My Chemical Romance. Can I meet the band?
Yeah, in the comments, I think they were like, you know, obviously joking and stuff. They were like, oh, like, nice to hang out with some fans or something like that. Like, just being like, you know.
Yeah, so
it was really cute.
It's so cute. Like, shout out to water parks, and yeah, Mikey for still being fucking adorable.
Yeah. Oh. Yeah, I love water parks, so.
I always think about the Ghost of You music video where, like, the behind the scenes for it, and Gerard's just screaming for Frankie and like, they killed Frankie. No, I think it's Ray.
Oh.
I think it's Ray. He's like, they killed Frankie. I'll play the audio clip. Somebody's screaming it.
Yeah, insert clip here.
I guess we're done with who we're thankful for, which is like, I'm happy we, listed off again, like some of our favorite bands who shaped us into making us who we are today. Yay. We adjusted into adulthood just fine. Yeah. I don't know. Fuck it. Arguably okay. But Thanksgiving is coming up, which means the fucking dash to Christmas is coming. And y'all know what that means. It's the most wonderful time for social media because we're all going to be starting to share our Spotify Wrapped. And yeah, we want to give some predictions on who's going to be on our Wrapped this year. Kim, who do you think is going to show up on your list?
Oh, that was hard because I'm trying to think like because I usually listen to a lot of music in the car, and so I was like, what albums did I listen to like on my rides and stuff? But the first I asked my partner, I'm like, what albums do you think is on my Spotify Wrapped? And the first thing he says is like, definitely Willow's album. I was like, oh, you're right. Like, because I had that shit on repeat, like, especially when I first came out, I still like listened to that album like beginning to end. And when I was like writing my list, I was like, probably Jenny too.
Yeah, like
honestly, because I was like, I know you were on that too for like, if not still I am, like,
I literally posted Transparent Soul again on my story today because Kid Cudi has a verse in it now.
I haven't listened to that yet. I gotta check that out today, like right after this recording.
I'll put it in.
Yeah, definitely will be.
It will be on the playlist, but also, I mean, like, yeah, that whole album is great. Lipstick is one of my favorite songs this year. If that doesn't show up on my list, I'm not going to talk about my list right now, but like, yeah. The reason why I don't mention Willow is because I knew Kim had, like, we were going to talk about it. Like, yeah.
Yeah, I was like, it's probably going to be on yours too. So that's why I wrote like Prop Jenny to TPH. Like, yeah. I'm trying to think, like, it was hard for me to like think of my list because I don't know. I just have like a couple different playlists on like rotation, but I did listen to Montero.
It was so good.
Yeah, I did listen to that a lot too when it came out. So like, I mean, it did come out a little later in the year, so that's why I'm thinking like maybe it'll be on my list, maybe not. I don't know. And same with Mitski. Like Mitski just came out with a new album pretty recently.
How was
but
it?
I still listened to. I liked it. Yeah, like, but I do listen to a lot of Mitski's older stuff though, and I was listening to it like earlier in the year. But again, maybe not. Will be on my Spotify Wrapped. Still not sure. Maybe Ricky Montgomery I've listened to a lot this year, but. I just feel like sometimes my Spotify Wrap comes out, I'm like, wait, really? But some yeah, so we'll see. And then Girl in Red I've listened to a lot this year, and then Cave Town as well. So, I mean, also, I just thought of artists, and like, I could only think of like 2 albums in particular that could be on my list.
Those are all like...
Yeah, that's what I got.
I can see it. And just a little aside, I realized after I guess it was our 3rd episode when we started making playlists, I do know who Cave Town is. I know, like, I say that, like, I've listened to like 2 of their songs, like Devil Town I fucking love that song. I just wanted to say that because I think on the episode I was like, oh, I don't know who they are, and I was like, no, I definitely have outplayed Devil-Town. Like it's always makes its way onto my Halloween playlist, so definitely was in rotation. But yeah.
What about your predictions? Let's see into the future for your Spotify Wrapped.
See, unlike you, Kim, I know tragically what's going to be.
Tragically.
I know what is going to be the number one song of the year. I know what's going to be my top album of the year. And it's our boy, everyone's favorite, Machine Gun Kelly. Fucking Forget Me. Oh my God. Fucking Forget Me Too is gonna be my top song. And like, it's been on my repeat on Spotify since I started listening to that album. So it's been on repeat since January.
Right. So like they'll probably be on your list, especially if it's early in the year.
Yeah.
Forget about it.
Like it's Onion Rings for me. There's no doubt in my mind that I'm that's gonna be like, you listen to this song, you're one of MGK's. Like I'll be like, oh my God.
Like top 10%, like all that shit. Yeah.
Like there has not been like, again, it's definitely gonna be Forget Me Too. But there has not been an MGK song not on my repeats list since I discovered his pop punk shit. And I'm not sorry about it, Anthony Fantano. I like MGK and I'm proudish. I like it. Anyway, that's number one. The rest might be like I don't know for sure, but I have a sneaking suspicion that Kenny Hoopla is gonna make it on with Survivor Guilt. Constant Replay. I've showed Kenny Hoopla to so many of my friends who also get turned on to him, so I play his music when I'm with friends now, all that good shit. If I had to guess like a song that's going to be like top played, maybe it's gonna be Hollywood Sucks. Yeah, but also like it could.
Wait, you play your music around friends?
Oh my God, yeah.
I'm always so self-conscious to like share. I don't know why. I've always been like that. People will be like, "Oh yeah, smoke it on a playlist." I'm like,
I love it.
Not me.
I love
and I
being
know
a
my
DJ.
music. Like, not to be like an ass. I'm like, I know my playlist be popping sometimes, but I'm still like, oh, maybe not. Like,
I guess I just kind of know I know my audience now.
Right.
No,
yeah.
like I just kind of switch up my taste depending on who I'm with, because I do have again, we're genre fluid in this house.
Yes,
but I definitely, so I turned my roommate on to Kenny Hoopla and we'll listen to him all the time, so that's that. Sincere Engineer, especially because of the new album that came out this year. I mentioned it on the last podcast. It's a great second album from
so good.
Good. I think, again, if I have to name a song that's gonna make it onto the playlist of things, it's gonna be coming in last. It might be dragged across the finish line, but I have a sneaking suspicion it's gonna be coming in last. Hot Mulligan has also been a top contender in a band that I've been listening to a lot. But with that said, I definitely have only kind of stuck with a few songs, and so I'm probably gonna see How Do We Know It's Not an Armadillo Show, the song, or the song Green Squirrel in Pretty Bad Shape will probably also make an appearance.
They sound like dance cabin dance song titles. It's so good though.
Crazy. Yeah, I mean, oh my God, it is such a they're bringing back the long title that has nothing to do with the actual song subject. So something a little different from everything I've listed, but falls into more of the emo hip hop St. John's, I Can't Fucking Tell. I was exposed to that song much earlier in this year by my roommate Henry, who's like really into like, you know, like we compliment each other nice because he loves like sad boy shit, but he's definitely more into like the hip hop scene now, while I'm in like, you know, like we just compliment each other well because we're both like mutually interested in each other's tastes, but like he knows more about hip hop. I obviously know more about like, you know, rock shit. At least in this current time. So he showed me St. John, and it's just like the most melancholic kind of song. It's going to be on the playlist. I don't really know how to describe it, but like you listen to it and you're like, oh, it's good shit. It's good, like sad, lay down and just be sad about something you should have gotten over a long time ago. Like it just brings back old feelings of people who hurt you.
I can fucking tell you still love me still. Been through fucking hell, riding on one way. I can fucking tell you still love me still. Girl, it never fails.
I love that St. John is like there because like I don't really know that many people that know about him either.
Oh, so do you know St. John?
Yeah, I've listened to like a couple of his songs. Like I'm not like, you know, really like well versed in him, but I do follow him on Spotify, and like I know a couple of his songs. I forgot how I found him though. Don't know, but definitely this year I started listening to St. John.
John is a Brooklyn boy, so I really hope I could like see him here, and like, you know, that'd be real cool. Yeah, those are my like small predictions. Like I could probably, you know, I have a suspicion that like Rancid might also make its way on the list, and Gaslight Anthem, but those, like, I just feel like, you know, I just really, because of the album challenge I did this year, I feel like my Spotify Wrapped is going to be a little bit more all over the place than it usually is, because I definitely have listened to more bands than I ever have these, you know, with quarantine keeping me inside to do it. I really just kind of got out of my comfort zone, and by comfort zone I mean like just listen to bands that I always knew were great, like again Rancid and Gaslight Anthem, but I never gave like the proper time to. And yeah, even like fucking the Menzingers, I feel like they might show up, but like,
yeah, no, they're definitely like up your alley too.
Dude, I'm so mad.
Yeah.
I'm so mad that I'm so late to the like that realm of music, because like it's like a duh to me. I'm like, yeah, like of course I would like this music because I love fucking feeling like the American dream is still real. And then I can just hop into like a fucking muscle car and drive across the country and just live out my best on the road dreams. But you know, like but you know, it's just very reminiscent of older music like Springsteen and shit like that. And yeah, of course I would like it. So I'm happy to be in the know now. We'll see what happens, you know, in a few weeks, because they're going to start rolling out.
You're still going to do the challenge next year?
Okay. No. I don't know what I'm going to do. I think I want to give myself another challenge. But I mean, again, first off, I want to hear what Bobby thinks of, you know, who's going to show up on his Spotify Wrapped. But also, like, shout out to Bobby, because he was the reason why I did the 100 albums challenge. He did it the year prior. So I totally just stole.
That's so cool.
Yeah,
maybe I should do it next.
I mean, it's a good way. Like, you know, I mean, like, I am always plugged in for work because I have a very desk job that doesn't require me to actually like not, like, you know, I don't have to not have my headphones in. So like I can listen to an album a day easily. But it was like a good way to like break up, like, hey, you listen to Brave Faces like a million times. How about you check out something else? Like, it was a good way to like just step out of my comfort zone. So shout out to you, Bobs.
Thanks, man. Happy to inspire you.
Bobby, what do you think is going to be on your Spotify Wrapped up?
So for whatever reason, like, I've been listening to Kendrick Lamar's To Pimp a Butterfly like on a monthly basis, if not weekly. It just like pops into my head and I feel the need to listen to it, so I always give it a listen. and it always hits every time. It has so many iconic tracks on it that it always like brings me back for more. In addition to that, like I'm gonna shout out Anthony Fantano because he's always a good resource for me finding new music. He had put out 2 albums that he reviewed as 10 out of 10 this year, both of which I listened to a lot. First one being Spelling's The Turning Wheel, which is an absolutely gorgeous album. Love listening to it. It's very like poetic and beautiful and just wonderful in any sense of the word. And also Lingua Ignota's Sinner Get Ready, which can be a little abrasive. It's very loud. There's like very like, I don't know how to really like describe it, but just like loud like piano chords and very dramatic singing and stuff. It's another like gorgeous album. But in addition to that, like I'm listening to a lot of Alex Cameron. He's like a staple of my musical diet now. Same with the Decemberists. I've been listening to The Crane Wife a lot. What else? I have Mom Jeans on here potentially making an appearance. Modern Baseball, AJJ. Like those are all just wonderful hits on my musical diet. But also I have some hidden gems that might be like sneaking their way in there. Kill Bill, the rapper, as well as Rav, who they tend to work together a lot because of them working as part of this like SoundCloud rapper group called X Society. I've been listening to them since like 2014, and they're finally going on like a big tour together, which is great. So I've been listening to them a lot throughout the past couple years, including this year, specifically their albums Ramona, New Moon, and Skin. I have Igloo Ghost on here. I have Leon Chang, who's a New York-based electronic music kind of guy who does a lot of like video game inspired music. Really love him. And of course, I gotta shout out the boys Anamanaguchi. They're wonderful. I missed their show this past year, but hopefully with the Scott Pilgrim tour that they're doing, I might be able to get another shot at seeing them.
Shut up! I didn't know they were.
Are you going to try to go to that?
I was going to try to go to it, but I was still kind of on the fence about being in a concert venue without having gotten my booster and all that. So
I didn't know they were going to do a Scott Pilgrim.
Yeah, they just announced it this past week. They're doing shows in LA, and it's their first time actually being able to perform those songs live, I think, because of whatever happened with Universal and the licensing with Ubisoft, I'm assuming. There's a lot of different theories that have neither been confirmed nor denied by the band, so we kind of have to work with whatever speculation we have.
I hope you know, if you can go, you feel safe.
Oh my God, I had no clue, and now I'm just like, wait a minute. We gotta go. It is funny though, because shout out to my friend Rhiannon. She went to see the show that Bobby couldn't make it to, and they really didn't know anything about Anamanaguchi when they went, but they had a fucking blast. And they, like, I saw the photos and the videos, and it's just like, it's such a like the of course of that crowd. Like, I saw like someone recording on their like fucking DS.
That's a staple. That's a staple of their concerts.
I didn't know that was a staple. I like slid into her DMs. I'm like, is that a fucking DS in front of you? She's like, yeah. And everyone,
people will record on their DSi or their 3DS because it has the front facing or the back facing cameras on it. What I'm also really bummed out about with that show is that they played Hopes and Dreams from the Undertale soundtrack, and I missed out on it. I saw recordings of it, and I was getting all teary-eyed. I'm like, man, I missed out on this. That sucks. Maybe, and I don't know if either of you had heard about this in the past couple days, but apparently Crazy Frog is making a comeback on December 10th.
Get the hell out.
And
get out.
And
get out.
I wonder if that means that there might be a Crazy Frog tour. Can we please?
Yo, Crazy Frog. Yo, no way I would lose myself at a Crazy Frog show.
It's incredible. I'm looking forward to it. But yeah, hopefully with the Scott Pilgrim tour, maybe they'll return to the East Coast and do some shows over here. X Society doing their shows both at Knitting Factory and at Kung Fu Necktie in Philly. I have two different opportunities to either see my friends in the city or visit my sister in Philly and literally walk to the venue because it's right down the street from her house.
Wow.
I'll walk with you. I'll go.
Right?
I miss Philly. Philly's
So
great.
yeah, those are that's my kind of like general predictions. I'm not sure where Spotify is going to have me land, but that's what I got for right now.
You know what? I will say I didn't know you were listening to modern baseball like that. I'm very like I just didn't notice. I didn't really. I feel like you might have added bands during the actual episode, which cool, Obby. But I didn't know. Like I just had no. We haven't talked about it, and it just like just me mentioning modern baseball earlier. I'm just like, oh my god, Bobs, I'm not gonna talk to you, but yeah, and obviously Kim. Obviously,
I'm surprised you haven't seen me be a sad boy on Twitter, where I'm just like posting lyrics to that or or modern baseball.
Oh boy,
or Mom Jean, excuse me.
I'm gonna play the fucking Gene clips so many times in this episode. But yeah, here's the thing: my mental health got slightly better, so I'm not on Twitter as much. I really just go to scream my own thoughts and then I get off when I feel like it. But that's so cool. We're gonna have a sad boy sesh when I'm home next, whenever that is. But that's I love these predictions. I can't wait to see everyone's Wrapped when it comes out. And please, like, if anyone makes you feel bad about your rap, fuck them. I love seeing people.
Yeah.
I love seeing the raps. I don't really care. I don't know why people can't let people just enjoy things. Like, it's a fun thing, and I think it's like one of the coolest things Spotify offers.
I think it's also good that they've started to include podcasts, because a lot of my listening time on Spotify is for podcasts. So I'm looking forward to seeing like the Bodega Boys and The Yard and Super Mega and all them just like making appearances on that list. Of course, like the Adventure Zone, another one of my staple podcasts. But it's good that they started to include that.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely take note of what my friends, or like what appears on my friends' top list, and I definitely listen to people's. I look at it and I go listen. So please share your fucking rap, and if anyone gives you shit, you send them to me. I'll fight. Right. I'll fight for you, babies.
Yeah, send them to Jenny.
I'll take care of it. Yeah. I guess that's it, guys. I mean, like, for our sake, because it's gonna be a dash to get this episode in, so it's another shorter episode, but hopefully you enjoyed just hearing our thoughts about what we had to say. I mean, as we do, we're going to end this podcast with some music shout outs. So, Kim, anyone you want to shout out?
Yeah, this band actually was sent to me by one of my Twitch friends. Shout out to Michael if you're listening. But he's like, hey, my pop punk friend, here you go. And so he suggested this band called Save Face from New Jersey. And they recently just came out with an album called Another Kill for the highlight reel. And honestly, like, I think all my pop punk kids would definitely enjoy this band and this album. And they also have a cover of Teenagers by MCR, and he didn't even point that out to me, but I was just like, what? Like, so it's just another reason to listen to them. So definitely check them out. I'm definitely like been getting more into them this past month, and really glad to have them on my radar. So what about you guys? Jen, you want to start?
Yeah, and actually, like, this might catch people by surprise because, and by people I mean Bobby and Kim, because I actually have someone else written down in our notes like file, but I'm actually gonna shift gears because I realized I said the wrong band during well, not wrong band. I'm probably gonna edit it out and just know that I edited it out if I did. When me and Kim were talking about small venue bands, or just bands we've seen in small venues now, I had mentioned, like, I saw Meet Me at the Altar, which is true, but I also saw a band called Arm's Length, which I knew a little bit about before going in, but like seeing them live, it just made me feel very like appreciative that like I got to see them in such a small, intimate setting. Again, this is now I'm off script, so I don't really have what I wanted to say down, but like check out They're shit, man. Watercolor and Garamond. I think they're the two most popular songs on their Spotify, but like I'd be surprised if they aren't on my Spotify Wrapped too, like in like the playlist like of the songs I've listened to all year. Yeah, they're just good music. And I think I'll save who I wrote down for next month because I want to talk about them for Christmas music potentially. So yeah, Arms Length, check them out. Good boys.
You're always thinking the right one. I believe that before it gets done. And if that's what you want, why you look like that?
Bobs, do you have a band?
I get a turn this time?
Yes.
I may have a turn.
Okay. All right. So Bobby could have totally given a band suggestion. I didn't.
Look, I don't like talking over people. You know that. And you two were on a roll about it last time. I didn't want to interrupt, but I appreciate y'all giving me the opportunity to shout out a couple of artists.
Yes. Here, the soapbox is yours.
Thank you.
What the fuck? Yes.
So I mentioned him before, but Alex Cameron, he just came out with a new single called Sarah Joe just this past week. Really good song. Just presumably a teaser for his next album that he's working on. Really like that. And I also mentioned Kill Bill and Rav before. They have a song called Love Drug off that from like a couple years ago now at this point, but still like one of their most listened to songs of all time as of right now. It samples a song from City Girl named Ji-eun's Sunset. Got really cozy vibes, some nice hooks to it and stuff too. So definitely give both of those a listen if you get the chance.
They will have wanted it that way, but I know that there's just one thing.
And last but not least, what I wanted to also shout out was Anamanaguchi's new single. They have a single that they worked on with Monster Cat. It was supposed to be a promo song for this new Rocket League mobile game. It's called Water Resistant. Definitely give that one a listen to as well.
Can't wait. I didn't know there was new music. I didn't know Anamanaguchi. Shout out to them because they are it's funny. They've been my demo reel song for my animation reel for like 6 years now. I need to change that. But also Pop It is still a fucking banger. Yes. And I guess like we are almost done, but I want to stop the presses. Like, stop. Everyone stop. There was something Kim wrote on their list that they did not mention, and I am calling you out for this because I was excited.
Let's hear it.
But I'm gonna only lightly touch upon it because we will talk about it next month. It is fine. Avril Lavigne has a new song out.
Yes, we didn't even talk about our girl Avril.
We are mutually so thankful for Avril. Again, we it's fine because we talked about Avril in our fashion episode, especially, and also I think like throughout the pod we have dropped songs. Avril, another influence, style wise, music wise, X, Y, and Z. Y'all get it. But her new song, "Bite Me," mwah, we're back, baby. It is sad girl renaissance. It is. I dressed up in my punkiest outfit on Friday, this past Friday. I have never felt more like myself, and I have to thank Avril Lavigne for allowing me to still feel this way. So that's all. I fully wore like the giant fucking chain jeans out clubbing and like a giant studded wristband, and I was like, yeah. This is who I was always meant to be. And I got a bunch of skulls tattooed on me. So I'm living my best life right now.
Baby Jen is
oh my God.
proud.
I really hope 16-year-old me is just like, we did it. We fucking did it. Mm-hmm. That's it. I'm sorry. I felt like I couldn't allow us not to be thankful for Avril Lavigne's return, her signing on to Travis Barker's music label, and the inevitable tour that is going to happen. And I am buying like all the tickets I can and just dragging all my friends. Like we are going to see Avril Lavigne and we are all going to like just have the time of our lives. I don't care. So very thankful for that in the future. So yeah. I'm done. I have nothing else I want to say. Y'all heard enough of me and could probably go a few weeks without hearing another word from my mouth. So, Kim, you want to take us out?
All right, well, that's the end of episode 5. This is officially our Thanksgiving episode. I'm just really glad we got to talk about how thankful we are for a lot of the bands and artists we mentioned, and of course, thankful for each other. So stay safe, eat lots of yummy food, and until next time, we'll carry on. See ya.
Bye, guys.
Can you taste it?